प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. Let's do it again. Prakrute kriyamaणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, oh no, first of all, if I have, I know I should not correct anyone who is not working with the yajna spirit and for selfish desires, okay? But Bhagavan, why do people do like that? Why they work with that selfish goal always? What is the reason? That reasoning is Bhagavan giving in verse 27. What he says, Prakruti, nature. Nature is nothing but combination of three qualities. Whenever this word comes to you called nature, please understand that nature is not something different out there. Nature is an inherent part of Lord Shri Krishna, which we also called as Maya. The other name for that is also Prakriti. At a macrocosmic level, at a universal level, it is called as Prakriti. What is Prakriti? It is made up of three qualities. What are those three qualities? Mayuka talli gurtunaya qualities? Three gunas. What are the three gunas? Sattva guna, Rajo guna, and Tamo guna. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So these are the three qualities. Prakriti is nothing but combination of all these three categories, three qualities. Everything that is changing in this world, is the result of the combination of these three gunas acting in this world. When the three gunas act depending on what is the inherent desire of someone or something, it creates the life accordingly. Suppose if I have a desire to eat, I may become a pig because there is no stopping from eating for a pig. From morning till evening, it can eat constantly. Fish also is a great example. It's a constant eater. As long as the food comes, it eats. So I can be one of them if my desire is such. If I want to sleep for longer, I may become a polar bear and do hibernation. Depending on my desire, the Prakriti, the gunas, the three gunas of this Prakriti will look at the desires and will create the bodies and entities in the world. So Bhagavan is saying, Prakritehe kriyamanani gunaihi. Who is acting here? Under the influence of nature, it is the gunas that are acting and creating. So if I am helping someone, it is not Pavan helping, it is the gunas in Pavan that are helping to create an action and do the action. If those gunas are not there, Pavan is just like nothing. In the other way around, if the gunas are not there, none of the gunas are there, then you are Lord Shri Krishna yourself. You are Paramatma. But because we are born to shed away this body, it is created. So when if it is created, then we have to understand as per this verse that it is because of the qualities, the gunas, right? The three gunas. So Prakritehe kriyamanani gunaihi. Karmani sarvashaha. All the activities that are being done in this world are also being done by the gunas. That's why people do the same activity differently. I may do it in a different way. You may do it in a different way. Somebody else may do it in a different way, right? The results are also different. That's why. Why they are different? Because they are influenced by gunas. My gunas and your gunas and her gunas would be different. So that is the reason why the activity is also being done differently. Now that logically concludes that it is the gunas that are doing the activity, not the soul, not the Atma in us. The soul is not performing anything. The Jiva in us, the Jivatma in us is not performing the activity. It is the gunas that are performing the activities. Okay. Is that one activity or two? No, every activity. Sarvashaha. Second line says, Ahankara Vimudha Atma. This Jiva, this soul is such a foolish, egocentric soul that it thinks that it is doing the activity. Ahankara Vimudhatma Karta Aham Iti Manyate. It thinks, Manyate means it thinks. It thinks that the soul itself is performing the activity, which is because of its foolishness, because of its delusion. Why delusion? Because of the ego. Because it is, the soul is falsely identifying itself with body. Soul says, no, 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 I am not Lord Sri Krishna. Actually, what is soul? What is Jivatma? It is a thinnest reflection of Lord Sri Krishna in us. That is the soul. That is the Atma in us. Our Atma and Bhagavan Sri Krishna are not different. They are exactly the same. But this Atma goes under wrong textbooks, reads wrong material, understands everything wrongly, and thinks that this body, which has a light grayish beard and wears this, spectacles, is what I am. So that is one of the reasons why whatever this body does under the influence of gunas, soul thinks it is doing it. That's why it gets deluded. And so people who are working selfishly, their soul is deluded and thinking that it is performing the activity, not the gunas, is why they perform like that. That's the reasoning he gave. 28th. Anshu, will you repeat after me, Nana? Tattva vittu mahabaho.
Tattva vittu mahabaho.
Guna karma vibhagayoh.
Guna karma vibhagayoh.
Guna guneshu vartanta.
Guna guneshu vartanta.
Iti matva na sajjate.
Iti matva na sajjate.
Again, we will repeat it. Full lines. Tattva vittu mahabaho. Guna karma vibhagayoh.
Tattva vittu mahabaho. Guna karma vibhagayoh.
Guna guneshu vartanta. Iti matva na sajjate.
Guna guneshu vartanta. Iti matva na sajjate.
Then, Bhagwan, those people who work with sense of sacrifice, right? As a yajna spirit, as a true yajna spirit, why they do like that then? What is the reason they do like that? Bhagwan says, Tattva Vitt. Vitt means knower. Vidu means one who is having the knowledge. Vitt means one who is the knower of. Of what? Tattva. Tattva means what? The presence of Paramatma in all. The knowledge which is constantly sparking in one's heart, knowing that this body is nothing but Bhagwan's reflection. And so whatever I'm doing, I should be careful what I'm doing, what I'm speaking, what I'm thinking, because I am the reflection of Lord Sri Krishna, and Lord Sri Krishna is driving this skeleton, this body, these muscles, these thoughts, these emotions in a better way to help the societies around. So now Tattvavit, having the knowledge like that, one who is a knower of that secret, right? Mahabaho, O Arjuna, with long arms, mighty arms, Guna Karma Vibhagayoho, one who understands the secret that it is the guna that is conducting the activities in this world. Guna, Guneshu Vattanta. What does that mean? If I'm working, if I'm suppose writing, if I'm making a delicious food for someone and that person is being fed and that person is eating, I am performing an action of making the recipe. The other person is performing an action of eating what I made. Both are actions, right? Who is performing the action here? The Tattvavittu will say, my gunas are performing this action. Who is eating? The Tattvavit person will say, the gunas of the other person is eating. He may be eating it like really weird, like an animal, or he could be eating very sensibly, or he could be sharing while eating. There are many ways in which he can eat. How he is eating depends on the gunas. So gunas are eating, gunas are serving. See, this is how Tattvavita behaves and understands, because he knows very clearly that it is not the soul that is performing. It is not the soul. That's what I am. That's not performing this activity. The gunas, the qualities through which this body, this mind, this buddhi has been created are performing these activities towards the other recipient who is also influenced through their own gunas. So Guneshu Vartanta. Gunas are serving the gunas somewhere. It's a transaction between gunas. That's all it is what the knowledgeable person would always think. What is the effect of that when you think like that? Iti matva, if you think like this, Tattvavit, if you think like this, iti matva na sajjate. Sajjaha means attachment to the result. Na sajjate. A person who thinks like that will never be feeling bad if something goes wrong. Something goes wrong. What he will say, suppose I'm serving, and by mistake, I dropped the food, I could not serve. This person will say, hey, foolish body, foolish mind, where are you? Should focus, right? What are you doing? He will talk to himself. He will treat his body as an external entity, because who is he? He is the soul. He constantly believes that he is soul. That's it. And what he says, he constantly calls the body, mind, and buddhi and instructs them as if they are not his, as if they are just like loaned from somewhere. He says, what are you doing? Foolish. Can't you think when you're serving? Have some focus. When you're doing this, have some focus. The moment he is going to feed the next person, you will see the difference. Lot of care. Why? All of a sudden, nobody told him. A lot of people call it as self-realization, self-critical. These are all different words, but that comes from the fact that you treat your body and mind and intellect as a separate entity than what you are. You are the soul which is pure, which is good, which is kind, which is none other than Lord Shri Krishna. This body is having all the deformities. This mind is having all the deformities. And I constantly talk to those deformities in order to make them correct, in order to make sure that I teach them what the soul knows. And this is a self-journey, self-realization, right? So Bhagavan says, one who thinks that way, that gunas are acting towards the gunas in this world, such a person is a highly self-critical person. Such a person will be away from all the attachments. Attachments in the sense, the result of the action, right? Suppose it could be a successful result or a drastic result, nothing doing. He says, okay, this is all because of this. Let me correct that. It will be perfectly fine. The gunas are like this. That's why the results are like that. I am angry and performing the action. That's why I could not talk to that person clearly. That's why that person is crying. If I talk with a beautiful smile and explain to him in polite words, that guy, even if he does not understand, I don't care. But the Sattvic Guna may be talking to another Sattvic. They will understand. A Sattvic Guna talking to a Rajasic may not understand, may not have a great combination, but that's fine. But that is up to the Gunas. Why I should bother? What is the result? Whether he's understanding or not, why should I bother? I will just perform my duty. That's it. This is how the person thinks, and then they will not be attached to the results. A lot of people think that, oh, I do a lot of this, but nothing is changing. Nothing is happening. That feeling itself will not come. Huh? It's a great freedom to have a life like that. Let's go to 29. And Mayukha Tali, will you repeat after me?
Yeah.
Prakruter guna sammudhaah.
Prakruter guna sammudhaah.
Prakruter guna sammudhaah.
Prakruter guna sammudhaah.
Sajjante guna karmasu.
Sajjante guna karmasu.
Tana krutsnavido mandan.
Tana krishna vidho mandan.
Krutsnavinna vichalaye.
Krishna vinna vichalayet.
Krutsna means knowledgeable. That's a synonym for knowledgeable is Krutsnam, not Krishnam. Krutti, Krutsnam is knowledgeable. Akrutsnam, non-knowledgeable. Okay. So again we will repeat it. Prakruter guna sammudhaah sajjante guna karmasu.
Prakrutir guna sammudhaah sajjante guna karmasu.
Tan akrutsnavido mandan krutsnavinna vichalaye.
Tana krishna vidho mandan krishna vinna vichalayet.
So prakrutehe guna, gunas that are inherent part of the nature, under the influence of those gunas, sammudha, people get deluded because of those. Why people get deluded? Very simple example. See, if there is not enough light, it's a very beautiful example. Adiguru Shankaracharya's example in Viveka Chodamani. In a place where it is dark, little bit of light somewhere. If I throw a black rope, it is possible that many of us may think it is snake, not the rope. Right? Why do we think? But did the snake get created? Yes, it got created in my mind. I am thinking about snake. I'm looking at a snake. I'm sweating. I'm thinking it might charge back to me, right? And I may get into a trouble. So I'm seeing a snake. Yes, of course. So the snake has been created. Who created the snake? Was there a snake in reality? Sheetal? No. But did it not get created in my mind already? Gautam? The snake got created because of my gunas, because I was not able to see clearly what it is. That lack of clarity is because of gunas, is what is being said. The darkness which I'm referring to is the darkness in one's own qualities. The darkest quality that one can think of is tamasic, which will make you not see anything clearly. You will look at a rope and you will call it as a snake all the time. You will look at the Lord's face and you will think that this is just a picture. I don't care. You may not see him as a Lord of Lords. It's okay. That is because of tamasic guna. These gunas coming out of prakriti, prakritehe guna, Sammudaha, deluded by the gunas that one carries, which are inherent part of nature. Sajjante guna karmasu. Because of such deluded state, there are people who get attached to the results of the action and then they perform those actions for specific results. They want the results, so they are attached to the results. They only work for the results. Tan akritsna vidaha, you know that they don't have the knowledge, right? You know that. So what you should not do is being mentioned here. Tan akritsna vidaha, mandan means shrinken, diluted. Your knowledge, you know that the other person's knowledge is very diluted and he is not able to clearly see what Lord is all about, how the work has to be performed, with what intent it has to be performed. The knowledge about, the clarity about how life should be spent is not there. At that time, what you should do, Bhagavan is saying, he's not saying what you should do, Bhagavan is saying what you should not do. Kritsnavit, Kritsnavinna is equal to Kritsnavit plus na is equal to Kritsnavinna. Ta and na, when they get together, it becomes two N's. Kritsnavit plus na is equal to Kritsnavinna. So what is Bhagavan saying? You are Kritsnavit. You are knowledgeable. Na vichalaye. Never ever try to prove the other person wrong. Just don't tell that other person is wrong. This applies to everyone, including me. We usually say this is how life should be. You are doing wrong. Kritsnavinna vichalaye. If you are telling, they will be confused more. Don't tell that. Just act in the best spirit. Be a role model. Do not ever criticize the person who is not doing the way Bhagavan is asking us to perform the actions. They may be doing for whatever reasons. Never ever criticize them. Na vichalaye. Okay, this is very important. Lot of people who learn Bhagavad Gita get into the trap of having this essence of this knowledge, loving this knowledge, understanding it, making sure that they follow and others also follow. That last part is saying, sorry, remove it. Remove it. Just do it. You do whatever you can. Inspire them through your actions and feelings, emotions, and how you behave in this world. All right. So we have 15 more minutes, but I'm going to stop the session little early today. So we have time for one more. All right. So Krishna, will you chant after me?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So do that, okay? We are in
30.
Mayi sarvani karmani.
Mayi sarvani karmani.
Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
So, yeah, two yas constantly one after the other. So it little bit of brain game that happens here. Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
Sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
Beautiful. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva.
Nirashir nirmamo bhutva.
Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Vigata means leave. Jvaraha means pain, agony, frustration, all that. Vigatajvaraha, leaving all the pain, agony, and frustrations. We'll repeat it again. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa.
Nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jvaraha.
Nirashirnirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha.
Very nice. So now we know why people who are selfish and ego-driven activists, why they are acting like that. We also know one who is Tattvavit, why he is acting in a way he is acting or she is acting. Also, Bhagavan says never criticize. Okay, you are good. You are doing all good. You think you are doing good. Don't criticize others. Right? Let them do what they are doing. Just inspire them if you can. Right? Here Bhagavan is saying, Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. Right? So Mayi sarvani karmani. Thinking that I am doing everything. Not you. Thinking that I am doing everything. I am the force behind everything in this world. Even if a small needle goes from here to there, it is because of his wish. Somebody has done it under his direction and command. Thinking with that mode. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasaha. Sanyasaha means leaving away. What are you leaving away? You are leaving away the fact that you are doing it. The ego. Right? Leaving that. Adhyatma chetasa. Constantly reveling that there is the presence of Lord in me, and that Lord is making and being aware of that all the time while performing an activity, right? And then working with the spirit of sacrifice, doing all that, and nirashir, nira asha, nirashihi, one who is without asha, one who is without any expectations. I'm doing it because I must do it. I'm helping because I must. I'm a human being. I can't expect a dog to help a person who is crying. Poor dog, it has 4 legs, it cannot even stand on 2. What it can do? It can just sit next to him and then lick. That's all it can do. I'm a human being. Can't I help a person who is struggling next door? I can. Why should not I do it? Let me do it. This is. And what are you expecting? Why I should expect? I am just doing because I must do it. I have no expectation. I don't care what happens next. I will do it. This is nirashir, nirmama. And by the way, I am not doing. Who said I am doing it? Who said I am doing it? I have something, I am doing it. Who gave me? He gave me. It's his knowledge. It is his wealth. It is his emotion. It is his knowledge that is helping me do what I'm doing. So I'm basically a tool in his hand. I'm like a spoon in his hand. He may do it, he may use me anywhere. It's up to him. So nirmama. Mama means I, yes, me. I'm doing it. Nirmama, I don't know who is doing it, but it's being done. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva, being in that state. When you perform all the activities, constantly reveling with the thought that it is all Bhagwan's grace, that things are the way they are around me, right? With that, Bhagwan says, get up, Arjuna, fight. That is for Arjuna. For us, he will not say fight. Just because it is Yudhyasva here, don't go onto the streets and start fighting with people. Bhagwan said to fight, let's take a fight. Come on, Gautam, let's fight. No. Yudhyasva means do your action. He's talking to Arjuna, so he's saying Yudhyasva. If he's talking to Gautam or Sheetal, he will say respect elders or do some studies, improve your knowledge, help others. This is what he will say. Right? So for each one of us, depending on what we are, he will be instructing differently. For Arjuna, he is saying Yudhyasva. For us, it means whatever is my nature, whatever is my responsibility, whatever is my duty, I should do the duty. With what intention? Nirashir nirmama. Why? What will happen if I do that way? Vigata jvaraha. If I do perform the activities like that, there will be never a situation in my life where I will be painful, I will feel agonized, I will feel frustrated. There is no chance or room for that. Now, Bhagavan is saying all that. Do you want to believe it or not? Do you want to believe it or not? Not everyone believes this, okay? It is hard to believe God. Why? Because I have to believe first that God exists. See, it's a very tricky thing. I can believe that whatever my mom says is right. It starts with my belief that she is my mom. If I don't believe, if I just treat like any other third person, then I will not get that feel. Then I will never believe whatever she says. So it is belief system. Will we believe this? Bhagavan is saying all that. He is disclaiming. He is just giving it out. Mayi Sarvanikar. I am doing all this. Think like that. Constantly revel in my thoughts. Leave your ego out. Don't say you are doing it. Don't have any expectations onto what you expect out of the activity and then perform the activity. Why? Because that will lead to a situation where you will never have to think about pain in your life, agony in your life, frustration in your life, problems in your life. Can we accept that? Can we say, yes, Bhagavan, whatever you say, I will follow? It is difficult. Why it is difficult? Because again, because of our gunas. We will see that probably in the next session. Okay. The next one actually touches upon that. So that's why I tried actually drifting into that. Okay. There is a word called as Shraddha, which has been used in the next one, wherein we have to consider this thought. All right. Let's end with the closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasthir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. See you all. Have a wonderful rest of the week and we'll catch up again next Saturday. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Bye then.